Okay guys, my name is Chris Gutierrez. I am a paramedic and a power stroke mechanic. I have a 2008 E450 by Wheeled Coach with 114,000 miles on it. Super clean. And I'm going to give you a walk around and then we'll start going through all the compartments inside and out. And you can see the paint is in fantastic shape. There are a couple of scratches here from decal removal. Don't know how well that's going to show up, but very minimal. And more than likely, whatever decals you put on will cover that up. They're not deep. They're very shallow, very just on the surface there. So there's the back. It does have DOT compliant chevrons if you live or operate in a state that requires rear chevrons. This has them. And then here's the passenger side, and all of the lights are programmable LED. It's got the magnifier side scene light in addition to floodlights, and it is super shiny, both the paint and the chrome. The grille in really nice condition with these cool low profile Whelen lights. They burn red, but they have clear lenses. So I'm going to go ahead and start going through the compartments here. Here's our oxygen compartment, and there's our adjustable O2 rack. Now it's set right now for an M tank, but if you use H tank, it is adjustable. You can raise this up to accommodate an H tank. It has the regulator. You'll notice it has two lines coming off of it. It's because one is a high pressure line because there's a gauge on the action wall inside, so you can see how much is in the tank without having to come out and physically look at the tank, which is pretty convenient. You'll also notice in all of these compartments, it's sprayed with a Line-X type material. It makes the interior of the compartments a little more durable, and it actually helps inside with the insulation, both heating and cooling, and as well as the sound. It is much more quiet inside with all these compartments sprayed. That's for restock supplies, extrication equipment. This is the backboard compartment, very large. You could fit several backboards in there, and there are 3 shelves if you have headbeds or sea collars or sandbags or whatever you use to secure heads in your jurisdiction. You could put folding flat on this side. It's large enough to accommodate a scoop stretcher if you have one of those. And there's that. Here's the back. We're going to get in there in a minute, so I'm just going to skip that for now. This compartment here is for whatever you want to put, turnout gear, more restock supply. Good sized compartment. Here's another big compartment here. You'll notice it has an integrated O2 rack that can hold 3 D tanks, D-size oxygen tanks. There's that, and you can put turnout gear in there or whatever you want. This is for your jump bags and all that stuff, your O2, your monitor, your portable suction, everything you're taking into your rescue would be in this compartment here, and then of course you have access to that from the inside as well. Down below is a slide out tray with 3 batteries, Odyssey deep cell batteries. Each one of those batteries is about $360. There's like $1,000 just in batteries right there. Very good, very reliable batteries. And there's that. So let's go ahead and we'll jump inside. We'll start going over every switch and everything that's available to look at. Let's go through the back. And there's our back. Okay, let me step back so you can get a gander at that. So, you know what? Let me fire it up so we got juice. Alright, here's your sneak preview of the cab. Okay, let's go take a look at the back. Let me step back. Here's the back. And you'll notice there's the dome lights. And all the grab rails are powder coated yellow. And here we are in the back. So, we got the action wall. We'll start with that. Here's the jump seat. Actually, let's start with the jump seat. It does have a couple of cracks in the upholstery. Now, this is a cover. You can order replacement covers for this jump seat, but it's not thrashed enough to where I would do it, which is why I haven't done it. So, and it also has the integrated child seat, and it does swivel. So if you want to pull that lever, the seat will turn around if you want to, you know, have it face forward or whatnot. So on the action wall, you'll notice the radios, the speakers, the mics, those are all going to stay. The brain that goes to the radio has been removed, so that's the part that has all the programmed frequencies and all of that stuff. That's gone, but the radio heads are here, speakers are here, the mics are here, and they're going to stay with the ambulance. So there's that. So let's start with the patient heat and AC. You can probably hear that kick on. It's on medium right now. Here's the speed selector switch. There's a low, and then there's high. High is what you would normally use if you're looking for heat or AC. It's the most powerful. Okay, so there's that. Medium, low, and then off. Our dome light switch, you'll see that it went down to low. It's not going to go off because the doors are open. Whenever the doors are open, the dome lights come on, so you have some light when you're loading your patient. But there's high, there's medium. They all work. And then on the other side, there's off, there's low. This is the only side that comes on when the doors are open. The other side does not, but I had them already switched on. So there's those, all those work. The oxygen system, you'll see that there is a switch for oxygen. What that does is there's a solenoid behind this oxygen bypass valve. If you leave it in the on position, your O2 will only work when you flip this switch. It's a safety precaution. If you're ever in an accident or something, you're worried that the O2 line got severed, you can turn it to off. It stops the flow of oxygen. Likewise, you can turn it off here at the switch also, but if you don't want to use the switch, you can, if you turn it to the off, I always get this backwards. If you turn it to off, then it only works when you flip the switch. If you don't want to deal with the switch, you can just leave it on and it's just flowing all the time. It also helps if you don't run very many calls, if you're in an area that has a low call volume and you worry about your tank bleeding. It's a good system to have because it'll only suck up the oxygen when you flip the switch, instead of it's just constantly flowing and whatnot. So there's that. There's the exhaust fan to evacuate odors that you may not want back here. There's a vent right there, and there's a vent right there. There's those. There's the suction. You'll see here's the suction regulator, and if I put my finger over that, you'll see the needle. And then if you want to increase or decrease the strength, you just turn the knob, but it's right where it needs to be. That's a perfect amount of suction. There's that, and then it's got power door lock. So if let me close this door. If you look at that, let me zoom in on that little lock. You can see that coming up and down. It's a cool feature to have. There's also a switch right there, and And then there's one back here also, along with the light timer. And there's that. Let's see what else we have back here. And then, oh yeah, and then here is, let me back up. Here it's another light, dome light timer, and then the thermostat. How you actually control the temperature for the heater, air conditioner is right there, that little white doohickey. There's that. And then of course you've got the gauge on the wall, so you can see there isn't a tank, but you know, it'll show what your pressure is in the tank if there were one in there. On here you'll see there's a plate right there. There was a monitor right there connected to a computer system and a automotive modem, so you can just see here in Los Angeles what hospitals are closed to diversion, who's open, and what, you know, if they're open to trauma only or EDAP only or whatever the case might be. There's that. You have big compartment above that action wall with the shelf. It's adjustable. There's a lockable narcotics locker here. You put your narcs in there. There's a key to lock that. If you want additional counter space instead of a CPR seat, you can put that down to get more counter space, although it has pretty good counter space as it is. I don't think you need more. I prefer to have a seat myself. Underneath the CPR seat, there's a shallow space for emesis basins, bedpans, urinals, that kind of stuff. On the bench seat, you've got a very long bench seat, and there are seat belts there if you have a second patient, like say on a spine board on the bench seat. They can be secured in. They have their own oxygen outlet there. There's a big beefy armrest there if you're sitting there and don't want to get thrown into the ALS wall. If your partner is driving like a maniac, you can do that. Underneath the bench seat, there is very big space for Sager hair traction splint or Sager splint or pillows, blankets, that kind of stuff. There's that. There's also another compartment for storage above the bench seat, and then there's all these. There's 3 IV hooks up on the ceiling. Above the doors, there's another space for usually your extra boxes of gloves, and then to complete things on this wall, there's 2 adjustable shelves inside there with sliding doors, and you got 2 big drawers, or not drawers, but you have the sliding door area. Then there's two big doors here, and you can customize that however you want. There's a shallow space for restraints or extra gurney belts. Oh yeah, let me explain. The gurney, you'll notice, has a variety of floor plates. That's because you can put any gurney will fit in here. So if you use a Striker MX Pro or a Striker Easy Pro or a Striker Power Pro, those will all fit in here. It has the proper floor hardware for those. Or if you use like a Furno Model 35 or a Model 28 Furno 28Z, any of the Furnos will fit in here, any of the Strikers will fit in here. So that's pretty good. Okay, then the ALS wall, that's what this is. There's a shelf here, and this is all accessible from that side door. There is a charging station for a SCORE portable suction unit. So this is the release for that. You just undo that and pop that off if you happen to use a SCORE portable suction. If not, you could just remove that. There's a drawer here that's lockable, and you can do that. This is a big drawer for a file cabinet rack. Will fit in there, so you can keep extra patient care reports, or, you know, I I don't know, refusal of treatment forms, whatever kind of forms you might want to carry, you can keep those in there. Up here is all the electrical, and that is all the relays for all the lights and everything. One of my favorite things about wheeled coach is the simplicity of the electronics. Whoever your fleet maintenance person is will appreciate this thing. All of these relays and all of the electronics in a wheeled coach are things that you can find at O'Reilly or AutoZone or Pep Boys. There's nothing complicated that's proprietary. And then down there are the rest of the solenoids, bus bars, and fuses. All down there. Again, very, very simple, very ordinary parts that you can find anywhere. So there's that. Let's go take a look at the cab